Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're heading down to Ecuador for some blackened extreme metal of the war come bestial kind. We are talking, of course, about Nihil Domination and their album Sado Perversor Goat Insulter. Why, what does that mean, Aaron? Fucked if I know. But it's what it's called. And look at that artwork. Woo-wee! That is an angry looking goat cyclops metalhead monster. That nun's having a terrible time. Snaky boy seems to be enjoying himself though. So, not all bad. Now, when it comes to the genres, I've heard people call these guys war metal. I've heard people call them bestial black metal. I've heard people call it black and death thrash, and it just gets to the point where it's like, just fuck off. Alright? So for the rest of this video, I'm calling it war metal, because that's what it sounds like to me, alright? And these people go at each other as well. I'm not just saying, ooh, maybe I disagree. No, these people, they insult each other. People get called posers and all sorts. It's like, alright, whatever. But I'm calling it war metal because I think it sounds the closest to that. Now, we're talking the sort of vein, not so much like blasphemy or anything like that. You've got your free geezers there, look, doing their thing. But we're talking more kind of, I'd say, like black witchery, perhaps, like the faster elements of that, because these guys go fast. I mean, the only time they go slow on this album is for their sarcophago cover at the end. And that's for the old funeral dirge that you get at the end of old Christ's death. You know the one. It's a banger. And no lyrics in this bad boy, nor are they on Metal Archives, so I honestly could not tell you what the songs are about. But if the song titles are anything to go by, I'd say it's about the usual blasphemous, satanic kind of ilk, all that good stuff. Let's have a look at some of these. Raped Jesus Christ, really cool song. That's the second track on here, but it's the opening song. It's got an intro, you know how it goes. But really cool. That's got a cool sort of chanting kind of chorus to it. Really starts the album off nicely. And what else have we got here? Got some other ones here like vomiting in the face of Jehovah. I'm guessing that's pretty much, what it says on the tin. And then you've got this one, nuclear explosion in the vagina of the Virgin Mary. And in parentheses, it's got the word abortion. So there are easier ways of doing that, but that would get the job done. No doubt. Now, if you're sort of new to this kind of side of black metal, it's sort of like the black grindcore kind of swill that we all like around here. So you've got some cool little artwork there, bits and bobs and whatnot. This came out in Metal Archive says 2010. The booklet says 2011. I'm going with the booklet because I'm assuming the boys in Nihil Domination are in fact not time travelers. So I'm going by that. Now, if you're into bands like, like I mentioned before, like maybe Black Witchery, Anal Vomit, MG08, Morbo Sidad, those kinds of bands, this will probably tick a lot of those boxes for her. Sadokist as well. So you've got a nice area there, but this is pretty much blasting all the way through for the most part. Very sort of that Brother Quinn kind of feel, where it's just constantly love it, mate. But if you're new to the underground, then I would say think of like Sepultura's first album and Sodom's Obsessed by Cruelty, but with blast beats, okay? This lives a couple doors down from those sort of thing. Maybe in the next street, but extreme, very fast, just riffing mayhem. Now, the vocals, they remind me a bit of Burzum in a way that they've got a slight distortion to them, because you know how Varg recorded his vocals through his headphones. It kind of sounds like they did that on this as well. They may not have done it. It might be a studio effect. I don't know. But No, man, I think it sounds really fucking cool. It sits with the music really nicely. It's just really raw. It's like I mentioned, very fast. It is the whole album's done in 24 minutes, you know, so that's perfect as well. Because some of these albums tend to go on, but I find anywhere between sort of 20 to 25 minutes for a war metal release is just about perfect. And this is no exception. The band aren't together anymore, unfortunately. I have got a few of their bits laying around here. All of it's very good, very consistent. Some would say it all just sounds the same, and there's an argument to that. Of course, there is, but like with anything, the more you listen to it, the more you pick up on the nuances, you know. And it's got some really cool falsettos in there as well, thrown about the place. So those of you who like your merciful fate and whatnot, you know, you may not like this, but if you're into that sort of stuff and this sort of stuff, then it's got a nice little thing going there. And it's only very every so often as well, you know. So it's just to keep things fun. But yeah, if you're into other bands as well, like Volcano, Sarcophago, Mutilator, and that kind of ilk, you know, all south of the border kind of thing, then 100% you need to check out Nihil Domination. And just this whole thing's on YouTube. It's also on Spotify, but for some reason the one on Spotify skips, which is weird. I don't know why. Take up with them. But yeah, some serious bestial black war metal, whatever you want to call it. It it insults Sado Perversor Goat, which is very niche, I think. Or there's just some bloke who's in the sadomasochism slagging off goats, in which case I say, stop it, goats are cool. But, you know, do what you want. Track list there, very cool stuff. This was out on, yeah, Death Thrash Armageddon. So, Nihil Domination, Sado Perversor Goat Insulter, make it happen. Keep it extreme, keep it underground.